He asked me to trust him and stop being so suspicious, so I did. I trusted my gut instead, checked his recently deleted photos, and found screenshots of a countdown timer titled, "Move in with her." I sent him a timer of my own set to "Single Life Starts Now." Hey Reddit, I'm writing this while sitting in a coffee shop because I can't be in that house right now. I need to get this out, and I don't care if it's too long. This is my real story, and it's far from over. I, 36 female, have been married to John, 38 male, 4 or 5 years. We were together for 3 years before that. We met in Boston at a friend's party, and it was one of those easy, fast starts. Everything felt right. He was funny, thoughtful, charming, exactly what you'd want someone to be when you're imagining your forever person. We got married in the fall. Small wedding. Just close friends and family. We moved into a modest house in a quiet neighborhood outside of Boston. I work in public health, and he started a tech company with a couple of friends. The first few years of our marriage were what you'd expect. Good, solid, nothing wild, but nothing bad either. We were always busy, especially once his company started getting some attention and investors. Things started feeling off around 6 months ago. That's when he started working late more often. I didn't think much of it at first. Startups are demanding, I get that. But then he started being weird with his phone. I noticed little things. He stopped leaving it face up on the table. He always had it with him, even when he went to the bathroom. His notifications were suddenly silenced. I'd ask him about it, and he'd get defensive. He kept saying, "You're overthinking. Don't be so suspicious. Just trust me." So I tried. I really did. I gave him space. I didn't push. I told myself he was stressed, tired, maybe going through something. I convinced myself not to go down the rabbit hole of assumptions. But my gut wouldn't shut up. You know that feeling? Like your stomach knows something before your brain does. Last week, I finally gave in to that gut feeling. He was in the shower, and his phone was charging on the nightstand. I didn't even plan to check it. I walked past it, saw the screen light up with a new notification. It was from his photo gallery, photo deleted. That's what did it. Just that tiny alert. I opened his gallery, went to recently deleted. There were a few stupid things, screenshots of recipes, a meme, a blurry photo of our cat. And then there it was, a screenshot of a timer app. The title? Move in with her. Time left? 27 days. I stared at that screen like it was going to change. My first reaction wasn't even anger. It was this cold, heavy stillness in my chest. Like my whole body went quiet. I felt like I was standing outside my own life. Who the hell was her? It didn't even matter. What mattered was that he was counting down to something he never mentioned. And I wasn't part of it. I took a screenshot and emailed it to myself. Then I put the phone back exactly how I found it. The next day, I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I acted normal. I made him coffee. I kissed his cheek. I told him good luck with his meetings. Then I went straight to my best friend Sarah's house. Sarah has known me since college. She knows I don't cry easily. I cried in her kitchen. After I told her everything, she said one thing that stuck. If he's making plans, so should you. That night, I created a countdown timer on my phone. I labeled it "Single Life Starts Now." I set it for 24 hours. Then I screenshotted it and sent it to him. No caption. He responded within seconds. "John, what is this?" Me, "Check your recently deleted." That's where I'll stop for now. He hasn't come home yet, but I'm expecting him any minute. My suitcase is packed. The divorce papers are in my bag. I haven't signed them yet, but I might. Depends on what he says. So John came home that night. Right after I posted my first update, I got a text from him. "I'm on my way. We need to talk." I didn't reply. I just sat in the living room, timer still running on my phone screen. My hands were shaking, but I kept it together. I didn't want him to see me break. He walked in like someone had just told him his whole life was about to blow up, which, to be fair, it was. He looked at me, saw my phone on the coffee table and went pale. "Can I explain?" he said. "Sure," I replied. "Explain the countdown to your new life." He sat down across from me and did that thing liars do, rubbed his hands over his face like he was so stressed, like this was hard on him. "It's not what you think," he started. No joke, I actually laughed. "That line? Really?" He kept talking though. Said her name was Hannah. Said she was a UX designer his company hired 6 months ago. Said it started with just lunch, turned into emotional connection, and then eventually they kissed. He swore nothing else happened. He said they weren't sleeping together, that he was just confused. He said the timer was more of a joke between them. A joke. A freaking countdown to betrayal. Real funny. But here's where it gets worse. I asked, point blank, "Did she know you were married?" He didn't answer. He just stared at the floor. So I asked again. Still nothing. Just silence. So I said, "Cool. Then I'm going to call her." His head snapped up like I'd slapped him. "No. Don't. Please don't." That was my answer. I stood up, walked over to my desk, opened my laptop, and pulled up the email I had sent myself with the screenshot. I showed it to him and said, "You think I'm going to sit here while you build a new life with someone who doesn't even know you're married? Not a chance." He started begging at this point. Literally begging. Knees on the floor, hands clasped together, full on desperation mode. He was crying, saying he didn't want to lose me, that it was just a phase, that he was scared of how routine things had gotten between us. He said, "I don't even know if I want to be with her." I just felt trapped. And this is when the twist came. I told him I had already contacted her. I hadn't. Not yet. But I wanted to see how he'd react. And oh, he panicked. His face drained of color. He stood up so fast he knocked the coffee table. Then he went straight to his phone. I asked, "What are you doing?" He said, "I need to warn her." Warn her? Let that sink in. He wanted to warn her that I might blow up his secret life. Not apologize. Not make things right. Just protect his lie. That told me everything I needed to know. I left. I grabbed my bag, walked out, and drove to Sarah's. I didn't even give him a goodbye. But here's where it gets really messy. This morning, I woke up to 3 missed calls from a number I didn't know. Then a voicemail. It was Hannah. She said, in the calmest voice I've ever heard, "Hi. I got your number from John's emergency contacts. I think we should talk. Please call me back." That was it. Just that. But it hit like a truck. So now I'm here in Sarah's spare bedroom, staring at my phone, wondering if I should call her. I haven't yet. But I think I will. Because I need the truth from her this time. So I said this wasn't over, and holy hell, I wasn't kidding. I called Hannah. I was expecting the call to be awkward or tense, but it wasn't. She sounded calm, even kind. I introduced myself and said, "I think you already know why I'm calling." She didn't deny it. She said, "Yeah. I had a feeling this was coming." So I asked her point blank, "Did you know he was married?" She sighed. Not a surprised sigh. More like a finally the truth is coming out sigh. "I didn't at first," she said. "But I do now." Apparently, John told her he was separated and just figuring things out. Claimed we were sleeping in separate rooms. Said I was cold, controlling, and didn't support his career. That part hit hard. I literally cooked for him, helped him prep for investor meetings, edited his pitch decks. Cold? I was his biggest cheerleader. I told Hannah everything. The marriage. The years. The fact that we were still sleeping in the same bed. That there were no signs of separation. Nothing. Then came her twist. She said, "I think he has another timer." I was like, "What do you mean another timer?" She said she saw a different countdown on his phone once when he wasn't looking. It wasn't labeled "Move in with her." It said "Freedom Starts" and had a totally different date, 2 months after the one I found. I didn't get it at first. I thought maybe he changed the move-in date. But then Hannah dropped this. "I don't think I'm the only her." Let that sink in. This man was juggling not one, but possibly two separate affairs, and apparently giving each woman her own set of lies and timelines. I felt sick. I asked her if she had any proof. She said she didn't know for sure, but she got suspicious when she noticed he wouldn't let her post photos of them together. He didn't follow her back on Instagram, even though they'd been seeing each other for almost 5 months. She said she once found a text on his phone from someone saved as James, but it read, "You're not sleeping over again?" Not exactly something James would send. I thanked her for her honesty and told her I was filing for divorce. She apologized, said she felt awful. And you know what? I believe her. She was lied to just like me. So now I'm sitting here trying to piece this all together. John didn't just cheat. He orchestrated a whole mess of lies and timelines. Like it was some kind of game to him. One countdown for move-in, one for freedom, and maybe a third woman in the shadows. And here's the wildest part. I checked our shared credit card account today, which I had honestly forgotten about in the chaos. There's a charge from a week ago to a local storage unit company. Guess what it's under? Advance pay, 3 months. My stomach dropped. Was he stockpiling stuff there? Was he already moving things out behind my back? While kissing me goodbye and calling me his wife. I haven't confronted him yet about the storage unit. I want to find it first. I want to go there myself. I want to know what he's hiding before he knows I know. I already messaged Sarah. We're going tomorrow. This man thinks he's playing chess. But he forgot I've already seen the board. I didn't plan it to end this way. But I guess people like John don't think their lies will ever catch up. So, like I said, Sarah and I went to the storage unit the next morning. We had to stop at the front desk first. I told them I was co-owner on the credit card and needed access. The lady at the counter looked tired and didn't ask too many questions. She printed a temp key code, handed it to me, and pointed us toward Unit 118. It was a small drive-up unit. Nothing fancy. I opened it slowly, not sure what to expect. At first glance, it looked harmless: plastic bins, suitcases, a few pieces of furniture. But then I noticed the labels. One bin was labeled, Hannah's kitchen stuff. Another, office setup, her place. Then a garment bag, wedding suit, dry cleaned. My stomach flipped. This man had packed up a future with Hannah. Fully packed it. While still living with me. While telling me he was exhausted from work. But it didn't stop there. In the far corner was another small box, labeled just M. My blood ran cold. Not Emily. He wasn't supposed to know any Emily. Not even in our friends group. I opened the box. Inside was a small framed photo of him and a woman I'd never seen before. She looked maybe early 30s, blonde, blue-eyed. They were standing in front of a rental cabin sign, Vermont, based on the background. There were letters too. Handwritten. She signed everyone as M. They weren't recent. Dated over a year ago. But one of them said, "I know you're stuck for now, but I'll wait until the timing's right. Always yours, M." So now I knew the truth. There wasn't just Hannah. There was M, too. And who knows if that's all. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just stood there in that dusty unit and realized I had been a side character in my own marriage. I made mistakes too. I ignored the red flags. I kept giving him chances to be honest, even when the signs were screaming. I believed his words over my own instincts. That's on me. But what I did next, well, that was on him. I took photos of everything. The boxes, the suit, the letters. Every piece. I sent them to Hannah. Then I scanned one of M's letters and emailed it to John with one sentence: "You were never good at deleting the right things." Then I made my final move. You remember that investor meeting he was always hyping up? The one that could change his company's future? I showed up. I wore my best suit. Walked right into the glass building. Security tried to stop me, but I calmly said, "I'm John's wife. I just need to hand him something." The receptionist hesitated. I didn't wait. I walked straight into the conference room, handed his lead investor the folder full of printouts, timers, storage photos, M's letter, and said, "Before you fund this man's business, maybe find out how many lives he's running in parallel." You should have seen the investor's face. Quiet rage, then confusion, then silence. John stood up. His face? White as a ghost. "What are you doing?" he asked. I smiled. "Ending the countdown." Then I left. And just like that, it was over. At least for me. John lost the deal. He called, texted, begged. Even showed up at Sarah's. I didn't answer. I never responded again. Hannah blocked him. Sarah told me M apparently reached out to her, somehow found me through mutual friends. I gave her everything I had. Let them all see him for what he is. I filed the divorce papers that same week. Moved into a new apartment. Got a dog. Started therapy. And yes, I forgave myself for ignoring my gut for so long. Here's what I learned. Cheaters build lives on silence. But silence is easy to burn when you stop being quiet. So I burned it. All of it. No more timers. No more waiting. Just me, finally free.